Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in. It is me, Stephen North, and just wanted to share a little bit of update as to what's occurring in my own world, and that everything's just rest. The brain through here feels like it's just gone to mush. You could say it's going through rewiring phase, if that's any different means anything. Tired, needing a lot of rest. I can't focus as much as I used to. I used to pride myself in being able to work and get a lot of work done, and at the moment I can only do about 1 or 2 hours a day. Sometimes I can work through the night, but it's constantly making mistakes and overlooking things. And yes, I'm aware that I got diagnosed with glandular fever back in March, and if this is it's, as the doctor said, 6 to 12 weeks recovery. But in a channel session the other week, they said that, August, Amy came through last week and she was saying that rest is very important right now to allow what needs to be done to be done. And we've just entered a whole new phase for us, Amy and myself, and we're at the very beginning of this new phase. And part of this new phase is the creation of a new business called Business and Web Consulting. And the reason why I came up with this business name, which I couldn't believe hadn't been registered, is because it was very difficult to pull Starpoint 9's vision and the business and web, because Starpoint 9 has a very big vision in itself, but I needed to have another business in parallel and to focus on that creation. So whilst business and web consulting is not going to be my primary focus, it will be a big focus for what is for this new phase that's coming in. So the idea is to help businesses and do things that they can't do or don't want to do, and develop a team of people that can achieve work that I have to a standard. So being unable to achieve this standard right now within my own self, I've been resting and taking my time with things because I just can't focus. Which is why I'm not doing any group sessions. I just can't, because I'm fatigued, I'm exhausted, I'm drained. I just need to rest, really. But that's part of the whole glandular fever. It takes a while to recover because it hit me hard, it hit me strong. I understand why I need to sleep a lot, and just really, as Olyamar said, is that my energy system needs to be repaired, or like cleaned up, and eyes and the back of the neck where I get my information from coming through is all clogged. And it's just a matter of self-love, self-care, self-nurturing, and allowing the body to do what it needs to do. It knows what it's doing. The way that they likened it is that the mind is just dragging everything along. So just come back, rest, come back to the zero. One of the messages that I'm getting a lot lately is to disconnect from the outside world. What we mean by the outside world is the conspiracy theorists, is the chaos, the drama. There's so much emotions being flung everywhere. To be honest, actually, something that Amy was saying, which we're sending her a lot of love because of what she's dealing with, and that is, there is a lot of spirit guides holding on to fear right now. It's like just going through the veil. It's on both sides. You think this side's intense, the other side, they have more awareness, and they are experiencing fear as well. And Amy's helping them. It's like, remember, when you're in human form, you work through it, you work through it, you work through it. So she's been teaching those that have come to her for help on how to work through this fear. On the other side of the veil, it is all systems go. There are so many souls crossing over. They're going through the de-traumatized process. There's just so much work going on, and then we have crazy things like just all sorts of stuff that we're seeing on the media, the news, manipulated stories that portray one side of a vision, and people getting consumed and sucked into this. Even discussions with my friends, like we just, it's quite interesting to not be consumed by the systems or the media or information, because you're trying to stay up to date with the Premier's announcements or the Prime Minister's announcements to know what you can and you cannot do. We're in a state of emergency. So a lot of the perceived rights that we had yesterday prior to COVID are not in action, because like for WA we're operating under the Emergency Management Act, which says that we shouldn't be doing certain things, that we are in a state of emergency until they let the green light go, saying that we can go back to normal. And we've got these processes that are in place to ease us back, to make sure that there is this, that we have the confidence that everything is going to be okay, and not just raise ahead like they did in 1918, where the end of the World War II, everyone just ran out, and then all of a sudden you had the second wave of Spanish flu and killed more than, because of the pandemic, than what the war did. So some very interesting things. One of the perspectives that I'm starting to see is that a lot of what we're experiencing now is a replay of the fall of Atlantis, when the planet dropped in its frequency because of the duality systems that were just hammering us at that time. And there's a train about to come, and I'm starting to see that a lot of the conflicts that's been going on, which is really disrupting the collective right now, which is really interesting, is the same stories. It's like we look at the spiritual groups and it's just the same things over and over and over again. There's no difference. The only difference is a person that's teaching the same workshop that's been running for the past few years. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's routine, it's patterns, it's addictions, it's systems. It's all the same. There's no new difference. Even when I decided to do an experiment and put a post in a group to say, hey, what do you miss the most, like from Fremantle, like I miss this cafe, all I saw was just the same routines of advertising, like these groups becoming just junk mail. And this is what the whole idea of business and web consulting is because it's like, let's develop something completely different, something that's fresh, something that the people actually want, not being told what they want. You're all fighting for rights and upset, but yet you've fallen into the same patterns of telling people how you should be or what you should do. Whereas in the higher realms, it's like, no, we have to guide them. Let the people make their own choices. Let the people make their own decisions. Like at the moment, you can physically see the two realities between the new Earth and the augmented Earth, or the original Earth and the augmented Earth. So, like with the new, you got the two realities, which is chaos and drama and what the FBI would call domestic terrorism, Australians versus Australians, or in their case Americans versus Americans, and there's just conflict after conflict after conflict, one side of a story, no research, it's just one side of the story. Whereas we're not coming together and going, okay, let's discuss, this is my perspective, this is their perspective, can a neutral ground be found to where both sides are being heard? But no, it's just crazy, it's chaos. But perhaps this is the path to have this come up, have the emotions surface, have the emotions expressed, in order for the peak. And once we peak at this certain height, then it comes back down again like a sine wave, up and down, and we've got to intensify the experience in order for it to explode, for the calming of the storm. It's just stuff like that. And so so this is what I've been pondering and sharing with some friends, but now I'm just putting into a video because it's been a while since I've done a video to share these thoughts that I'm going through. But I'm starting to see that the two realities are playing out, and it's just a matter of which one are you going to go for. Are you going to like sit back, let go, drop everything, fall into a state of nothing, and allow whatever to transpire, whoever's playing those games and stories and getting stuck in, to stay in there if they want to, and you make the change, you become the ripple of a reality. There's 200 and something million way showers on the planet at the moment, or something. I can't remember the math. My brain just doesn't function anymore. I don't retain anything anymore. So going back to the way shows, it's like, just fall back into nothing, let go of the stories, let go of the frustrations, let go of everything. It is hard, it is challenging, because you want to get sucked back in, and you feel like you want to get sucked back in because the collective wants to hold and create chaos around information, and you've got all these systems and cartels and banking systems and whatever. You know, it's not about 5G, it's about intensified electromagnetic frequencies. You're using the wrong terminology. It's got nothing to do with 5G. It is the intensified electromagnetic frequencies that are causing issues to the human body, because we are not designed to handle EMF, electromagnetic. So it's more than just a 5G network. It's television, it's radio, it's all this sort of stuff combined. If you can redirect your thoughts to electromagnetic frequencies and the intensification and the damage it can do to a cell, then you're onto something more and bigger than just 5G. It is bigger than just your limited scope of reality, and that's the thing that we're trying to achieve. When you get into these higher levels of consciousness, you start seeing a bigger picture. And that's why we need to rest, because we are moving into these higher levels of consciousness, but we need to rest in order to achieve those states. We need to feel the love that is coming through the heart, the energy that is feeling it, that's always connected to the source of what we are. And we just need to rest. In this time, you've given the opportunity to rest, and all you want to do is go back to old patterns and go back to work, because that is all you think you know. You just want to be busy, busy, busy. Like, there are new ways coming through. Create the ways. You've got the dreams, you've got the visions, you've got the imagination. Go create. But enjoy the opportunity to rest right now. You've been given opportunities to be so filled with inspiration. Time was given so you could write your book. Time was given so you could create your course. Time was given to you right now for you to achieve what you want to achieve right now. You have the time. Go create with it. There's no point creating chaos. And as I move forward into these different states of consciousness, there are going to be different beings coming through. And that's what we're preparing for. That's what I'm preparing for. So one of the biggest message that I feel in my body every day is that we have returned. And we are here. I'm going to leave it there. I may edit the video. Thank you very much. Stephen North. Ciao.